Okay, so now we are going to talk about the combustion engine. We talk about the steam engine, now let's talk about the combustion engine. But before I explain to you all the steps, let me tell you a little bit about what you see in a car, in the engine of the car. Now, the combustion engine is what we have inside our cars, for example. So inside the car, we have what is called the crankshaft. So it's this horizontal line that you see here. Attached to the crankshaft, we have these pistons. So each piston is a cylinder. These pistons will keep moving up and down, up and down. And by this motion up and down, they will make this flywheel rotate. And this will make our tires rotate, and then we'll get the motion. Okay, let me show you another image of this. Here we have, again, you see this horizontal point here is the crankshaft, and then attached to it you see these pistons. In this example here we have 4 pistons, as you see now, so 4 cylinders. The more cylinders you have in a car or in the vehicle, the more power it has. Now 4 cylinders is an example, but like a V8 you have 4 instead of 4 you have 8 cylinders, so much more power. And what you see, and I'm going to show a part of this video, is that these cylinders keep moving up and down, but they are different phases of their cycles. So you'll see in this video.
Today, the internal combustion engine.
So some of them are going up and some of them are going down, 2 by 2. So in this kind, not 2 by 2, but we could have more cylinders as well. I'm going to show to you in this slide what is happening to each individual cylinder. Okay, but remember we may have more than 2, or 2 or even more, 4 in this case. Okay, and the engine that we are going to explain here is what is called a 4-stroke engine. It has 4 steps in this cycle. Okay, so the first cycle is this one that is called the intake. And so when you press the gas in your car, what is going to happen is this valve opens, and then inside the cylinder we'll get this intake of this mixture of air and gasoline. The second step is this one of compression. And the piston goes down and then it starts going up. So it's going to start compressing this mixture. Okay. Once it compresses a lot, we'll have this C and D is one stroke. Now in C and D, if you will see in the video later, is just the combustion, the big expansion part. What is going to happen when it gets very much compressed at this point? The spark plug will fire. So fire with gasoline, we get an explosion. Now we get an explosion, this piston gets down really fast. An expansion, an enormous expansion, like similar to an adiabatic process, very fast, and then this enormous expansion. That's the point where the car gets really its power. Now when we have this explosion. After that, so this piston goes down with an enormous power, and then as it goes up, now the second valve is going to open, and what we have now here, just dirt gas that we are going to exhaust. Okay, so this is the idea. Let's now watch the video. He's going to explain all these 4 strokes again and more details. So let me go to the beginning and unmute.
Today, the internal combustion engine is used in motorcycles, automobiles, boats, trucks, aircraft, ships, heavy-duty machinery and power generators. A 4-stroke engine is an internal combustion engine in which the piston completes 4 separate strokes: intake, compression, power, and exhaust during 2 separate revolutions of the engine's crankshaft, and 1 single thermodynamic cycle. Let's take a look at the basic internal parts of a 4-stroke engine. Inside the engine block, there is a crankshaft. Piston rods are attached to crankshaft. Pistons are attached to the piston's rods. As the crankshaft turns, it causes the lifter to make each piston move up and down. At the top of the crankshaft there is a camshaft which is connected to the crankshaft by a timing belt. While the crankshaft is making the pistons move up and down, the camshaft is turning, making the valves to open and close. Let's now take a look at how the combustion creates pistons motion. First, intake stroke. The inlet valve is opened, and the fuel-air mixture is drawn in, as the piston travels down. Second, compression stroke. The inlet valve is closed, and the piston travels back up the cylinder, compressing the fuel-air mixture. Just before piston reaches the top of its compression stroke, a spark plug emits a spark, to combust the fuel-air mixture. Third, combustion stroke. The piston is now forced down by the pressure wave of the combustion, of the fuel-air mixture. The engine's power is derived, from this cycle. Fourth, exhaust stroke. The exhaust valve is opened, and the piston travels back up, expelling the exhaust gases through the exhaust valve. At the top of the stroke the exhaust valve is closed. This process is repeated. What had been presented is the cycle of operation of one cylinder, of a four-stroke engine. Generally engines have two or more cylinders acting in concert with each other to produce the engine power.
Okay, so you got the idea, right? And so that's the idea of the combustion engine, and this is the end of this video.